All right, with me is Sijara Eubanks, UFC Bantamweight here, and she is fighting this weekend in a huge fight for herself in the co-main event, I believe, actually, of the card, right?
I think I'm one before the co-main. A couple people, I think somewhere I'm listed as co-main, but I believe OSP is co. But I'll take it. I'm still in a good spot.
For sure, for sure. Definitely gotta take whatever. I mean, you're on the main card of the card itself on Saturday. So I was curious, Sajar, how are you feeling going into the fight? We're about 48 hours out, almost a little more than that. But how are you feeling going in?
I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling happy. I'm relaxed. Eyes on the prize. I had a great camp. I kept my momentum going from the last fight. So I felt like I was able to stay in great shape, especially over this COVID, all the hurdles and everything going. And honestly, at this point, I'm just happy to be here. With the state of the world right now, there's a lot of fights getting canceled, people getting pulled at the last second. My opponent got switched. So I just thank God every day that 48 hours, we almost there, baby. As soon as I get my foot in the cage, we'll be good to go.
For sure, for sure. And I mean, you kind of hit it nail on the head. I mean, it's a weird time in the world right now for pretty much anyone that's alive. So, is it different? Has it been different going into fight week with everything going on, COVID, and of course an empty arena going to on Saturday? Does that affect your preparation at all going in, or is it kind of business as usual for you and the team?
It does affect the preparation a little bit, only because especially early in the COVID, not so much this camp, gyms were closed, and so we had to sneak around like ninjas. We had to like tiptoe into the back and like find gyms in the dark, make sure no one caught us training. But now that things have opened up a little bit, the training is still good, but you can tell things are still a little bit slow as far as getting the other members of the gym in. But we were able to get more of a normal fight camp this time with Jersey. I'm in Jersey, with them sort of laxing a little bit on those gym rules, letting professionals train. So that was nice. And the only thing that's really different is fight week. Not so much the preparation, but you can't leave the hotel until your test results are in. These tests suck, man. I gotta tell you, they stick these things way up your nose and way down the back of your throat. That's probably the hardest part, honestly, is having to deal with Q-tips in your nose every 5 minutes. But other than that, sparring went good. Weight's good. We're just ready to rock and roll now.
For sure. Yeah. That's awesome to hear. Everything was, good going in to this fight week here. And of course, I kind of want to step back and go back to your most previous fight before we jump into this weekend. You had fought in May on the Smith Teixeira card against Sarah Moras. You won by unanimous decision. Huge win for you, of course. I was curious, how are you? You have some time to reflect now off that fight. It's been a few months now. Time's going fast, but you've had some time to reflect. So did you get a chance to take a look, go back at that fight, your performance? Was there added pressure going into that fight off of 2 losses? How do you feel coming out of that fight going into this one too?
Honestly, as a professional athlete, like, I try to have a short-term memory. I've read it from some of the athletes that I look up to, is you gotta have a short-term memory. Win or loss, you kind of gotta move on from the results, no matter what they are, in order to be successful in your next one, especially. So, honestly, right after the Morris fight, I like that night, I watched it like 100 times. And I was like, bro, it's the best fight of my life. And then 2 months later, I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, I could have done this, I could have done that, could have fixed this, could have fixed that. So, like I said, it was fun. I had a blast, that's for sure. I was happy to notch a win for the first time in this bantamweight division. But I would like to keep the momentum rolling and notch a win this weekend as well. So I learned a lot in that fight. Fighting under, I think there wasn't so much pressure to get a win. I think the only little bit of pressure I felt with that last fight with Morris is getting a win for my family. We needed to get paid. I hadn't fought in a while. And so now even that pressure is relieved. I was able to secure the bag, get that money that I needed. And so now this fight is even more relaxed, I would think. I think I'm a big fan of Tyson. And so he's always said a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. So I always try to find peace and level energy no matter what the circumstance.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And kind of going off of that, going into this fight, in a couple nights here, you were originally supposed to face Macie Chiasson, and it got switched last minute, I believe, just a few days ago, correct?
Yeah, I think like 5-7 days ago.
Yeah.
Time is weird in COVID.
Yeah,
Not
no,
that long ago.
For
Not
sure.
that long ago.
And now you're gonna fight Karol Rosa this weekend, and so I was curious. I'm sure that it probably changed a couple things for you in the team, but I can imagine you're gonna be prepared either way. So how did you feel about fighting Macie? Do you feel different about fighting Karol this weekend, or is it kind of just a different face in front of you?
Different face, different color jersey, maybe. That's it. A little shorter this one, but still taller than me. Everybody's taller than me, so. No, I mean the thing is, especially between fights, I'm always trying to better myself as a fighter. I'm always trying to sharpen my tools and get better at what I feel and my style and the type of performance I can bring to a cage. So then your opponent is just kind of just tweaking the game plan a little bit, not even much, because I'm always trying to execute my game plan. I'm always trying to execute what I want to do. So it's just a little bit of just changing around the game plan a little bit. We studied a bunch of film, try to see what type of different tools Karol may or may not bring into the cage. So just a little bit of tweaking. Honestly, with everything going on, I'm just happy they found somebody. You hear about fights getting canceled left and right. And so I just thank God that they found me a replacement as quick as they did. And just get me to the cage, Lord. That's all I need. So
yeah,
I don't care who it is. You can switch the girl tomorrow. Just get me out there.
Yeah, I mean we're 48 hours out, so hopefully all works out going in for sure, health wise for both of you. And did you get a chance? I mean, of course, I'm sure you've gotten a chance to take a look at Karol, maybe some tape. She is 2-0 in the UFC. Has she impressed you at all? Is it a different game plan going in other than from Macie, or have you got a chance to take a look at Karol here?
Yeah, I definitely took a look. I come from a heavy film study camp, so we always study in film. She definitely brings a very different style. We kind of anticipated that Macie would come forward a lot more. We anticipated that she would have a lot of range and be very busy. Karol, from what we saw, doesn't press forward as much, but she does have a lot of volume. She's got some tools. Impressed is kind of a strong word. That could be my ego, but impressed. But respect for sure. All my opponents get respect. She can definitely get that.
For sure. Yeah. And do you have a prediction at the moment of what you think happens between you guys this Saturday?
Wins only, baby.
Wins only.
I'm always trying to win.
Yep.
And I said in a couple of interviews, I'm really looking for that finish. I look for the finish every fight. But I'm really praying for the energy to get a finish this time. I think that would be, I've got some momentum now. I've kind of had a bumpy up and down start to my UFC career. And I think finally a solid finish on the big stage. I got finishes in the Ultimate Fighter, but I think finishes on that big UFC stage is going to be the thing that sends me to the next level. So God willing, I always pray first for my health and for the health of my opponent. And then I pray for the victory. And then the cherry on the top is going to be a finish. So I'm hoping for that little cap.
For sure. And like you mentioned, it's definitely a bigger stage, ESPN, everything like that. I mean, people are still in quarantine and they don't really have much to watch. So, I think a lot of eyes will be tuning in for sure. And you got a number next to your name. You're a ranked fighter, which is always huge to have for any fighter. You're 15th in the world and in the bantamweight division. So, that is some badass shit right there. But
yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of just going off that, I mean, beyond this fight, after you get the win, do you expect to fight again in 2020? Do you want to stay at bantamweight? What are you thinking right now?
Definitely staying at bantamweight right now. I know a couple people have asked me about the flyweight. The flyweight's kind of, I never say never, but right now I'm 100% focused on this bantamweight division. 1,000% locked in on this division. This is where I'm at. I believe I have a long career ahead of me. I'm healthy. So we're definitely going to focus on that bantamweight division. And I'm definitely looking to fight again. I know I don't want to think too far ahead, but I like that they turned me around so quick after my last fight. And God willing, they'll turn me around quick again after this one, especially because with the opponent change and everything. But again, I don't like to think or talk too far past Saturday.
For sure. Yeah. And there's Definitely makes sense for sure. And then, of course, you were scheduled to face Macie this weekend. She's actually ranked 12th in the rankings right now. So is that someone that would come to mind if you were to pull off the win this weekend as a future fight for you?
I don't know if y'all saw, but I did a video when I had the whole ladder going. Any one of them girls can get it, and quite frankly, anybody below me can get it. But I would like to stay ranked because my goal is to get to the top. But man, I'm not picky. I'm gonna say yes to. Really, I honestly leave the opponent picking up to my coaches and my management because. Like my coach knows if they send me a name, I'm saying yes before I can even read it all the way through the text good. So, like I said, we're gonna zero in on Saturday, and no matter what the result, I'm gonna be looking to fight again. So that's what it is.
For sure, and I think Dana White would appreciate that kind of mindset. You know, anyone can get it. It does seem like he certainly likes people like that. So I'm sure he'll be super pumped to hear that as well. And then kind of going off of that, of course, you're a ranked fighter. So, talking about the bantamweight title is definitely a realistic thing for you. At some point in the future, maybe not in 2020, but maybe next year, for sure. I mean, it's a weird mix right now in the bantamweight title. We got Amanda Nunes who holds the title, but she seems a little busy at featherweight right now. And then we got Holm and Irene Aldana, which are two top 6 fighters fighting in about a month. And they're doing a main event for that card. So do you have a prediction for that fight, or what are your thoughts on the top of the bantamweight right now?
Top of the bantamweight. I know some rumors kind of swirled around that maybe Amanda will retire. The deep down fighter in me hopes that she doesn't. I hope that she sticks around a little bit longer because it's going to take me probably a couple of fights to get up there. But whatever happens, happens. I don't care who's at the top. That's my goal, to get that belt. So as far as the champ is concerned, whoever got the belt, that's who I'm going to fight when it's my time. As far as Irene Holly, I think that's a cool matchup. I thought that was a great fight. That fight got postponed because I think Irene got sick. But when they first announced that, I thought that was a great matchup. Now that I'm in her division, I don't know if I say, but before I got into the UFC, I was a big fan of Holly Holm. But I kind of honestly think Holly's a little bit past her prime for this division. And Irene is coming off of a knockout finish win. So I think Irene's going to take it, but it's going to be tough because that southpaw style that Holly Holm bring is a tough code to crack. It's going to be a great fight, though. I think that fight goes to the decision.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for that fight. We're about a month out, and yeah, I think it did get moved. I think it was supposed to happen in August. So
yeah,
and so yeah, that's a big fight too for the winner. Whoever wins that might be in line for a shot at the title. For the bantamweight title, and we'll see what happens with Amanda, of course. So yeah, I mean, this has definitely been a great conversation, Sijara. It's been a pleasure having you. I mean, you're the 15th ranked women's bantamweight in the world. So that's you're a badass, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And seriously, best of luck this weekend. I'll personally be rooting for you. I'll have all my friends rooting for you, and I'll give you a shout out on Twitter as well right after this, and we'll get this uploaded to YouTube and Twitter and social media. And I really look forward to watching you perform, and best of luck here.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Anytime.
Right.
It's a great combo, man.
Awesome. Sijara Eubanks, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one.